Welcome to Bytes, the official podcast of Carteret Community College. I'm Dr. Tracy Mancini, and I am pleased today to be talking with one of our recent graduates, Orlando Hernandez. Hello, Orlando.
Hello, Dr. Mancini. I'm very happy to be here.
We are so proud of you, and thank you for being a speaker at our graduation.
Absolutely. I'm very glad I had a voice. I could really talk good about Carteret and what it's done for me.
Wow, you've given a lot back to the college. But before we get started, why don't you talk a little bit about what made you come to Carteret Community College? What impacted your decision to do that?
Absolutely. To begin with, Carteret Community College was kind of like a feasible sort of education. It was, my parents did not have the financial resources to support me to go to a four-year university. So it was kind of like, okay, well, I want an education. How am I going to go about getting an education? And Carteret Community College is 15 minutes from my home. And my sister had also gone to Carteret Community College where she received her associate's degree in nursing. And it had a familiar vibe to it and energy. And I kind of knew it from her and from what she told me, as well as the campus. I think the campus is just beautiful. I am ecstatic. Like every time that I would go out of the library and see the sound, it would just kind of be like, wow, that's Carteret Community College. That's my school. Like it's something I had a lot of pride in and have a lot of pride in.
That's wonderful. It is a beautiful campus. I think we have the most beautiful campus of all the community colleges.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, your sister did well going to Carteret Community College and becoming a nurse. That's certainly an in-demand field right now. Mm-hmm. So has she done all right with COVID and work during this time?
She has. She's trying to balance it because she's also doing her BSN at ECU. She's just had a kid. So there's just a lot going on. She's doing really well for what all she has going on.
Well, congratulations. You're an uncle.
I am. Isn't that crazy? I am.
Well, tell us a little bit about your experience when you were at Carteret Community College. How did you find classes, and what did you enjoy learning there?
Mm-hmm. Classes, I tried to find a support system around the campus in organizations that would help me kind of like navigate the process. Being a first generation like college student, it's kind of like it's really just you. You're like trying to figure things out. You don't have your parents to tell you like, go do this, do that. So you really have to like use your resources at the college, and the resources were there and they helped me greatly. It was incredible to see how much support and like help was there for me. Carteret just in itself was amazing. If I had questions with anything, they were very understanding, and it definitely left like a very, very like good. It left a very good just feeling in my heart. Just kind of like it just felt like family almost. Like It created a family feeling.
Well, you played a real part in that because you got very involved in campus. I think you found out what your resources were, and then you took advantage of them. And I know you were a part of CSTEP. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that? Absolutely.
So CSTEP stands for the Carolina Student Transfer Excellence Program, and they guarantee you admission with a 3.2 GPA from Carteret, and they really helped in transferring and the transition to a four-year university. I'm currently taking a summer program at UNC, and it's really great. It really helps you with the transition. Transitioning to a 4 year is a big change from just Carteret Community College, because in Carteret Community College, just in any community college really, everyone knows you. There's a person, but in a university setting, it's kind of like there's a department for just one thing. And it's a big change, but it was great. It was great having that just support. I was involved in a variety of things around campus, such as SGA. I was a Vice President of SGA.
The Student Government
Association, yes. As well as I was also a peer academic leader in the TRIO department, which was basically just, I was a mentor to other students, and I would guide them around the college. So I kind of became what I kind of looked for when I first got here.
Wow.
Which was, it was really like inspiring. I was really like moved and humbled to be able to have that, like, to be able to have that effect on others now. It was really incredible.
A lot of people don't know about some of these programs like TRIO, Student Support Services, is a really wonderful federal grant that the college gets, and it's specifically designed to serve low socioeconomic first generation and students with disabilities.
Yes.
And to help them to get exposed to college transfer in particular. And so what are some of the resources in TRIO that you got to take advantage of? In addition to being a peer mentor, which is amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, there was many. There was tutors. There would be, they would do workshops, such as like transitioning to a 4-year, study tips, things like that. They would really help you with that. They would help you with advising, picking your classes. They're really like, they say, they advertise as the one-stop shop, and it really is. There's everything at TRIO. I really attribute a lot of that success I had at Carteret to TRIO, as well as like other organizations, but I think they're like they were one of my main supporters, I guess say.
Yeah, that's great. But I do want to return to CSTEP because Carolina Student Transfer Excellence Program is a really amazing program also that a lot of people don't know about. So just to repeat, you came for 2 years to Carteret Community College. You had to maintain a certain GPA. But during that time, did you get to visit UNC Chapel Hill or get to know other students there?
Yeah, we did. We would actually meet with other CSTEP students from other colleges when we would like go and attend. They would have events, and that was really nice. It's really nice to kind of not only have a community of like other transferring students, but have a community of CSTEP transferring students, because we're all in the same boat. It's just we all know the struggles. We all know like what we did to get here. And it's really great because even we would have like monthly meetings where we would talk about like what picking classes was like, what like monuments there was, what buildings were like, what exactly was at Carolina. And it's a great help. It's amazing. And then when you get there, you'll have this whole built-in community. So it takes away a lot of the difficulty of being a transfer student, because you'll go and have friends there, which Definitely.
is a great resource. And I think you had some pretty good advisors with CSTEP from the college. Do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, I had so my advisors were Clayton Boknovic and his wife Karen Boknovic, who would also help. Clayton Boknovic was like the main one, but she would be there to help, and I would always come to her. I would come to them like jointly, and I would talk to them separately, and they would be able to help so much. I feel like Mr. Boknovic was more of like, this is how to do this is how to do that. And Mrs. Boknovic was more of like, kind of like, more of like the lifestyle sort of side to things, kind of like this is where you can get groceries, this is where you can, and great. Such.
Yeah, you need both parts of it, the academic and the social and just life.
Yeah,
parts.
They make it very, very great.
That's so great. Well, we are so excited for you, and I understand that the CSTEP process has helped you also, that as you enter into Carolina, you'll have some financial assistance, and will you be able to finish? Will you be debt free, or what will happen when you get there?
Absolutely. So I was granted, through an accumulation of a couple of scholarships and the Carolina Covenant, I was basically granted a full ride to Carolina, which is incredible. I think.
Oh my goodness!
It's just, I'm speechless. Now to this day, I'm still speechless, just like I was the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. Like I attribute a lot of things, a lot of my success, but like that's just going to propel me to the next stage.
So then if you're saving money along the way, you can have a head start on graduate school.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you know what you're going to study when you go to Carolina?
I'm not sure 100%. Originally I was considering biology to go on a PA or pre-med path, but I think I'm not sure if I wanted like do that just because of the financial part of it. It's a lot to ask for, and it's also a lot to bear. Anything in healthcare is a lot. So currently I am looking at a management and society major with a data science minor, or looking at waiting another year, taking classes there to fulfill the prereqs to the public school, to the public health Gilling School.
Oh, wonderful. Yes.
Where I want to apply and hopefully get a bachelor's in science of public health.
Oh, wow. Well, this is a time in our history when that kind of a degree makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? To be involved in public health, and coming off of COVID, there's so much that you can use as information to build on that. So
definitely.
That's great. Wow. Well, Orlando, if you were going to look back and do something differently, would you do anything differently while you were at Carteret Community College?
I believe that's kind of tough for me to answer because I feel like I did do a lot. But if I could do something differently, I think I would try to get even more involved in my community and giving back to them, kind of like giving back to the people who helped me. I kind of like use my voice for students or for students of Hispanic first generation students, kind of like be able to talk for them and speak on their part.
So what would you say to someone who might be considering Carteret Community College in your community, or who might not think it's within reach? Do you have a message for them?
Yeah, absolutely. And I can answer this in Spanish and English.
Oh, that would be great. That's great. Please do.
Yeah, absolutely. Para todos los que hablan español, la pregunta era, ¿qué le diría a alguien que estaba en mis zapatos hace 2-3 años, que está pensando de atender un colegio comunitario? Y para empezar, yo nací en México, fui traído a California y he estado aquí en Carolina del Norte por 9 años. Yo les diría que sí lo hagan, que atiendan un colegio comunitario o cualquier colegio que puedan atender, que vayan y luchen por una carrera, por una educación mejor, por la que nuestros padres y ancestros lucharon y sacrificaron mucho. Yo he tenido mis propios sacrificios y yo aquí me quedo de pie como ejemplo que no nomás podemos tener una educación, pero también podemos ser ejemplo y tener una voz y ser grandes en un medio ambiente en el que es dominado por otras razas. Los hispanos y específicamente los mexicanos estamos para apoyarnos, no para envidiarnos. Así que échenle ganas y sí se puede. Okay, so now I'll just say this in English now. I think I would tell them to go for it. There's many benefits to a community college. There's, for one, affordability. It's much cheaper than just paying for 2 years to get the same education.
And your diploma will still say
and
UNC
your diploma,
Chapel
exactly.
Hill.
And actually, you'll have 2 diplomas, one from a community college and one from UNC Chapel Hill.
And no one can ever take that away from you. That's what I like to tell people about earning credentials and degrees, is that once you package that into a certificate or a degree or a diploma, no one can ever take any of the pieces of that away from you. You carry it with you. Absolutely.
And something that Mr. Bognovic from the CSTEP would always say would be, once you get to Carolina, you're just like any student. You're not a transfer student. You're a Carolina student. Nothing differentiates you from everyone else. And it's completely true. Community college is also like a stepping stone into the next part of your life, whether that's attending a 4-year university or going straight into the workforce. They really do act as a stepping stone. I think something that happened with me while I was at Carteret Community College was that I cultivated a lot of skills that I didn't have otherwise, that also differentiated me from my other counterparts. And that was huge. I think that transition, you're not only transitioning from like high school to a university, you're transitioning to like adulthood, which is something that also takes some adapting and I think a community college is a great resource for that, and to really find what you're passionate about and what you really want to do.
Well, I have to respectfully disagree with Mr. Bachnovic, because I don't think you'll ever be just like any other student, Orlando. You have such poise and maturity in your thoughts, and we've been so lucky to have you at Carteret Community College, and we're proud that you're an alumnus now of our college, and so we like to stay in touch with you. I always ask all of my guests on the podcast what they're reading, if they would share that with us.
Yeah, absolutely. So as of like a month ago, I started reading a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Oh.
And in the book, he goes in and explains the science behind how tiny habits within our day-to-day life have a huge impact on us and on like a greater scale in like years. So a lot of us don't think about how our tiny little habit of like not brushing our teeth or brushing our teeth will affect like our dental health. But like in months or years, like your teeth are stronger, or maybe they're not as strong and such. And it's really these tiny habits that really dictate like the healthiness and like happiness of your life.
That is great. And, you know, that's something when I talk to incoming students at orientation, I talk to them about the habit of completion. And once you complete one assignment, you're more likely to complete the next assignment and the course. And once you complete one course, you're more likely to finish another semester and finish out your whole degree. And once you earn a degree from Carteret Community College, you're more likely to earn a bachelor's degree when you move on to four-year school, because you have that habit of completion. And so I love that you're reading about habits.
It definitely has a big impact. He also talks about like compound, like how habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Which I think is a great way to put habits. But yeah, I agree with what you say, that one task and completing one thing will lead you to another and another and another. I absolutely agree. Can I ask you what you're reading?
Oh my goodness, yes. I am currently reading, it's called Lunch with Buddha.
Okay.
I just finished reading the first book. There's a three-book series. It's by Roland Marullo. And the first was Breakfast with Buddha, and I'm into Lunch with Buddha, and then there's Dinner with Buddha. And it's a travel story, really, about a food editor with a publishing company who has to make a long road trip, and he ends up on a trip with a Buddhist monk, and he is a Christian, and they have these amazing conversations and kind of explore faith and explore organized religion. And I don't know if you know this, but I teach world religions at Carteret Community College, and I have taught it for many, many years. And I am interested in books that explore ideas and questions about different faiths. So thanks for asking.
Yeah, I've heard you've taught a couple classes, and you've took a couple classes too. I've heard you've took the wine tasting or something like that.
Yes, in the fall I took wine appreciation, and I was teaching world religions. So yes. So
may I ask, like, what was your career job journey like before becoming president of Carteret Community College? Oh, goodness. Well, you know, I was a business major in undergraduate school, and I was working in marketing for a financial services firm, and realized I always wanted to be a teacher, but I didn't take English in my undergraduate school because I passed out of my English requirement. And so I had to go back to community college to take enough 6 classes in order to get into a master's degree in English, because I wanted to teach English. And that was my first exposure to community college. And I just knew from that very moment that was going to be my career path. And my Shakespeare professor said to me, you know, all you need to do is have a master's degree in English, and you can teach English at a community college. So I finished my master's degree, and I went back and started teaching as an adjunct instructor. And then I
I just kept teaching and moving up into leadership roles. And I never really planned on being a president of a community college for most of my career. But as I saw the bigger picture and how much of a difference you can make in a community and in students' lives, individual students' lives, it became my passion. And so you don't even want to get me started talking about community college because I could go on forever. But it's a really wonderful place, and we've been so fortunate to have you at Carteret Community College. And I just want to say that I know your parents must be very proud of you. We're very proud of you. Congratulations on graduating, and we hope you'll stay in touch with us.
Absolutely.
Great.
I will stay in touch.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you, and join us next time for the next episode of Sound Bytes.